Hello everybody, I'm about to leave to a very important trip. About to leave to the state of North Carolina and go see my father. I was just there last week, and my dad has went through a lot of things in life, and there's a recent he had 3 strokes, and that really turned his life upside down and inside out. So I'm going to visit him, but also I'm going to present him my new book called This Is Your Chance. And when you read it, you understand why this is so important. It's everything my dad has modeled and he has shown, and he has sacrificed so much. And so I figured, let me take you on the trip with me. Got a couple of hours to drive. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it. But family, I'm super excited for this, and I know it's going to be very special to him. He loves all of his kids, and I know this is going to be a good memory and a moment for him. God bless. All right, so I am here, drove from Florida, here with my dad, Kenneth McCain. And as I was sharing earlier, my book, This Is Your Chance, is I really believe it's going to change a lot of people's lives. And I think it's important just to go back in life. And my dad will always say the phrase, I mean, when I close my eyes, I can still hear it repeated. And it always says how you count your blessings. And so he has just went through some life-altering things with some strokes and things of nature. And but it's incredible just how those words aren't just words to him. It's things he really believed. He lives by. How count your blessings, how you count your blessings. And so, so I know I've told you many times just how thankful, appreciative, and stuff we are, and how there's so much things that you have taught us, my entire family, all your brothers, all my brothers, your daughters. I mean, hope that things that we can learn from. And so the book, This Is Your Chance, is the subtitle is not opportunity that will pass you by. It's more likely will pass by your opportunity. And just that you keep that one phrase, how you count your blessings, and seizing every moment and working really hard has always been a motto in my life. And so there's been many times, and Pastor Josh can attest to this as well, and Jacob as well, and I'm sure all the other siblings, that we have experienced state places of promotion or achievements by being the hardest worker in the room. You know what I'm saying? So I remember you raised all of us. Remember one time in Stoneville Furniture, and then that went down, and we were weed eating, and we were cutting around weed eating Miss Pennick's pond. You remember all that stuff, right? And so anyway, so I have a chapter here called Lottery Ticket, and a lot of people think they're just hoping that life will hit their big break, and many people are not willing to work hard. So I've brought about you a couple of times in this book. But I just want to read a little bit real fast. It says, my father was a very hard worker and had a hustle and grind that it seemed few could keep up with. At a time of this writing, my dad has suffered 3 strokes that turned his life upside down. It affected his memory, motor functions, and other issues. I remember driving to Florida to see him shortly after his strokes. He had no idea who I was. It was very disheartening, to say the least, but my family chose to keep believing and praying. And obviously, he has made incredible turnaround, right? He has been getting progressively better, and we celebrate that every day. But I remember the first thought I had when I saw him after his strokes. He had a cold stare past me and once again had no idea who I was. I remember like it was yesterday. I told myself that I was so glad that I told him thank you. I would tell him thank you repeatedly and send him encouraging text messages during one of the hardest seasons of his and my family's lives. I would remind him that he was made for greatness and thank him for showing us a strong work ethic. There isn't such a thing as a perfect parent, because there isn't such a thing as perfect people. But I chose to try my best to focus on what is right and celebrate that. My dad traveled in a band, and a lot of bands, huh? My dad traveled in a band and played many instruments, as well as sang amazingly well. Let me just add this: he don't just simply play instruments; he play instruments. And he don't simply just sing. The brother can sing. I remember at my brother's wedding. He started singing, and everyone was looking for the CD player. Like, who's playing the track? And my dad was singing it acapella, right? And just people were amazed. And so, anyways, incredible voice. It says he also worked in factories and did odd jobs around the community and make extra money. He would oftentimes take us to cut people's grass, rake leaves, or weed around lakes and ponds. Looking back, I celebrate that my dad had a lawn care business. That's pretty much what it was, right? A lawn care business. Yes, without the flash and glamour, but a business nonetheless. My dad, Kenneth McCain, would build dog houses and sell them around the city, so he was also in sales. He was an entrepreneur in his own right and had a level of ingenuity to fix things with random items, like so smart. My dad was the first person to help someone when they were down, and though he didn't have money, would lend a helping hand. He would stretch a dollar further than anyone I've ever seen, so he lived out economics. His wall wasn't covered with degrees, but he learned from the school of hard knocks. My dad would quote a phrase often to us and himself: "It is how you count your blessings." He taught us how to give a solid handshake and a proper yes sir and no sir. These characteristics that were instilled in me, I believe, are the reason why I have received many promotions in my life. I have been elevated to positions that I wonder how I got there, and I was thriving in that element. Without a shadow of a doubt, I know the favor I gained in the eyes of man comes from being the hardest worker in the room, can be traced down to all the times I was forced to go work with my dad. And you would always tell us, "You'll thank me one day." The conversation around the yard, raking the mountains of leaves from North Carolina's fall breeze, became the deposits of seeds in my life that will bring an amazing harvest. So, yeah, I wrote this book. You know what I mean? I feel like it took me 30 years to prepare for it, and but so much of what I've learned, you have taught us. And I just think it just was healthy just to take a moment to ponder and to pause and to really think about, like, especially now, like, think about all the things you have accomplished in your life and all the sacrifices you have made. And I know sometimes it feel like it's, does anybody even see it? Does anybody know it? Does anybody appreciate it and recognize it? Like I said, I try my best always to send you, let you know we love you and we're thankful and we're proud of you. But like I think about, like, you did disc jockey, right? On the radio and stuff. I do podcasts, right? Which is the same thing, speaking over a microphone and it being streamed and aired, right? You sung in front of bands, and you led, and you brought people into the song. You engaged them. What is it called? Not a hype man. What do you call front? There's a particular word used to explain it. Like, so he would engage people in the singing, and we would travel with them. It was super cool. Heart and Soul Band was one of the bands and stuff. We were there on festivals and behind the scenes and eating chicken wings, hearing them sing. One time he sung the hip hop, you don't stop, that song, and I was digging it. But anyways, so now you sung in front of crowds. Joshua sings in front of crowds. You know what I'm saying? You fix things. You solve problems. What does Jacob do? He's an engineer. What is he doing? He's solving problems. You know what I mean? You build things and you sell it. And what is Lily Rose doing? Her jewelry business. She has a craft jewelry business. She's building it and selling it. You know what I'm saying? And so it was worth me driving all the way from Florida and presenting my new book to you. Number one, just to say thank you and encourage you, because you have made an absolute incredible impact that will far outlast us, because these are the same characteristics that we're instilling in our kids. So I wanted to capture the moment, and I'll put the video and stuff together and send it to everybody, send to mom and stuff like that, and send it to you as well. And anytime you ever feel like down in the process, you know what I mean, you can remember you made a difference. And so the title of this book is called This Is Your Chance, if I get the focus. And the subtitle is, "It's not opportunity that will pass you by, it's more like you will pass by your opportunities." And so my dad never made excuses, he made efforts. And so, like I said, those characteristics, those principles that I feel like, if I had to trade and you would have gave us $1 million and not would have taught us what you taught us, I felt like we were lost out in life. You instilled in something in us, and principles, characteristics, convictions. Like, he would travel all around and all weekend, and then head back just to bring us to church. You know, even when sometimes we didn't appreciate it because we wanted to stay home and play Sega Genesis. You know what I mean? But I'm thankful because he showed us consistency, commitment, and dedication. So anyways, I choose, especially in this season, always choose to try to focus on what has been right and what has been going great. And Dad, you have been a huge blessing. So anyway, so is there anything you want to share?
No, but I'm just glad because everybody grew up and right state of mind, and they ain't out here making no trouble or nothing.
That's it. That's it. And I think as a parent, I'm a dad myself now. My little Blaxican baby, not baby anymore, son, 3-year-old toddler, Hezekiah, and just the weight I feel with leading him to be an effective individual, and not just in life in general, right? And so I can definitely attest to that. So anyway, Dad, I want to present this book to you, and this is one of the first copies that I received, and so I wanted to drive all the way from Florida to come see you here in North Carolina and capture this moment, but to say thank you. So listen, if you're watching this video, and I don't know at what time you're watching it, and you can get this book at thisisyourchancebook.com. There's an audio book out on Amazon, all this other jazz. But I want you to know that, like I said, I'm sharing things in here that he instilled in me, and even though we didn't have a lot of money, even though sometimes situation may be doom and gloom, right? You could view that. He always taught us how to change the perspective. It's how you count your blessings. And Philippians says, whatever is noble, whatever is true, whatever is trustworthy, etc., etc., says think about such things. And so there's biblical root to what he's talking about. So anyways, Dad, thank you so much. Listen, this book is going to absolutely change your life. I really believe it. Seize your moment. Take your chance. No more excuses. Is how you count your blessings. So here, this man's mouth. Cool.
Yeah, how you count your blessings.
There you go. There you go. Well, God bless you all. www.thisisyourchancebook.com is a website. You can get it. It's on all different proper platforms. And so I don't want to make this thing sound like a commercial. But anyways, I'll put information all in the description. You can get it from there. But this is the reason why I came, was not to sell a book, but was to say thank you. And again, but now to put something physical in my dad's hand, to know that this guy, that those words is tattooed in my heart and tattooed in my spirit. So, and I'm gonna make sure I live my life counting all my blessings. So God bless you all, and thank you again, Dad.
All right. You're welcome.